Back with another solo leveling Arise video. So as you know, we had a live stream yesterday, and then we actually had the update today, which came and brought a bunch of new things. Of course, Workshop of Light, Meilin Fisher, a bunch of various different things. Right? We're not going to go over all of that today. I just want to highlight over the character that has released today, which is going to be Meilin Fisher. Now, a lot of you have been probably wondering and asking me as well, should you probably summon for Meilin Fisher? And today here we're going to discuss that, and we're going to help you come up with a resolution or a decision to whether you want to pull for the character or not. Because the character is not bad whatsoever, just based off of everything that I've already read, right? But we're going to go over it again, and then we'll talk about her skills, her core attack, stuff like that, ultimate, teams that she could be on, uses for what kind of content you'd use her for, stuff like that. We kind of just build in every single scenario possible with this character, and then we'll kind of compare her to another character, which will obviously be Min, because he is the other healer in the game, right? So naturally, it's good to compare them because they kind of fulfill the same role in the team, which is supporting and buffing your damage, right? So we're just going to go straight off the bat and talk about the factors on what helps you decide if you want the character or not. You're going to have one factor, which is if you like the character, and then the other factor being if you need the character. So if you like the character, you're probably going to pull anyways. You should pull because you like the character, right? If you like it, just pull for it. The only thing that matters in the game is your enjoyment, right? So I'm going to just get that out the way. Now we're going to go with the other factor. Now the other question is if you actually need the character. Starting off with the skills, we're going to talk about what she does, and then obviously we'll build that consensus at the end of the actual video or near the end of it. So as you know, she is a mage-like whip kind of character. She basically, as she attacks him with a whip. I believe, where's the preview button? I could have swore that she had a preview button, right? So you can see the previews. She's kind of like a whip type character. Attacks very quickly. Obviously, this is not going to mean too much. Like, look at these modifiers. It's relatively low. It's like, whatever. She's not going to be your damaging character. Then you have the side whip, of course. Naturally, this is going to be your core attack. This is like after a continuous stream of basic attacks, or if you use a certain skill, right, it'll give you your core attack. Pretty standard, nothing crazy. It's fast too, so you don't have to worry too much about it. Very fast string. I like it. Too bad she's not going to be DPS material. Then you have her basic skill, which is going to be Rear Lash. Meilin swings her whip down on the top of enemies, then throws them into the air, pulling them towards her. Very nice being able to close the range between you and the enemy, so that way you're able to, pound on them with the base attack. Although not very too important, because most likely you won't be able to pull like major bosses with this, so it's not going to be too helpful. But when it does hit, it instantly restores HP to all your team members equal to 5% of Meilin Fisher's HP. So if you have a good Meilin, in most cases you'll have 30k HP. So 5% of 30k is like, what is that? That's about 1,500. So it's okay. It's okay, right? Like, the healing is nothing crazy. I think it should be at least 10%, to be honest. But it's whatever. It is a basic skill, so it's like, it's not a big deal. The cooldown's 8 seconds. But I don't know. Like, that's a properly built Meilin. A properly built optimal Meilin will only be healing you like 1,500 or something like that. It's very low. But of course she has more skills that also heals, but we're going to go to that in a bit. So now we got the second skill. So that second skill is up. This is going to be a very important part to her kit as a support character. So basically it inflicts airborne, who cares. When the user uses this skill, it grants the So Cute effect to all team members. And when this skill hits, it removes target shield. So just like Huang, she can remove shields. This is very valuable if you do not have Huang, because there's going to be bosses like Golem, for example, who have shields, and you can't bypass it, and you got to do so much damage before you can actually get to their actual HP bar. This is going to be very nice, very good option to have. Does it warrant pulling her? I don't think so. It definitely does not warrant pulling her, especially on the limited banner. But obviously we're going to continue, so we have the So Cute part. This is going to be the main important piece. So Cute is increase the user's core attack damage by 8%. Remember, this is an effect to all your team. So as far as what we know from based off of the live stream and everything, and then what we see on her kit currently, basically she's going to be more focused on a water mono team, and of course she's gonna have very nice synergy with a character we just recently got, which is Alicia Blanche. She's gonna be her best support character with that. So in that case, you're already kind of leaning to, Alicia is kind of a sub DPS, right? But she can easily be your main DPS as well because she does a ton of damage, a ton of burst damage, right? So, I mean, she's good with her. You're definitely going to want to put her with Alicia. That's what I'm trying to get at here. Because increasing core attack, that's very, it's very niche. How many characters are going to use their core attack? That's just, there's not too much value to this unless you're actually using her with Alicia. So she's very niche use. Very, very, very niche use. It's, very conditional, right? I wouldn't say conditional because every character has core attack, but, in the cases that you're going to be using her is going to be with core attack characters. And there's not too many core attack characters that are good, which is the only ones that you really have core attacks on that are valuable are probably Silvermane Bait, because his whole kit consists of his core attacks. And then, of course, maybe Wu Jinchul, but his damage isn't that crazy anyways. And then, of course, Alicia, literally, this is probably what this character is made for, is for Alicia and the new Workshop of Light. And it's whatever. It's whatever skill. Right now, so far, from between the basic attacks and the basic skills, I'm only impressed with her basic attacks with how quick the string is, but her basic skills are not too impressive to me whatsoever. And they only last 8 seconds as well. By the time you get to your Alicia, yes, you'll be able to hit it, but then anybody else, it's not going to do anything. Then you have her support skill. So this is basically going to be when you're using your Sun Jin Woo. This is probably going to be very, very, very strong. Probably one of the best support skills in the game in terms of just buffing your raw stats. So basically, when it hits the target, it removes shield. So now you have a shield removal as well as a support. The only other character that has shield removal as support is Huang. We've already stated this before. She also heals 8% of her max HP to Sun Jin Woo or your entire team or whatever. So that's going to be good. That's already good, right? 8% W, right? It's going to be almost roughly 3k if you have her at least at 30k HP. Although not a lot of people are going to get her to 30k HP, but if you do, that's going to be very nice. And then it gives Barry on pumped up, increases the user's attack by 16%. So like I said, this is probably one of the best ones in the game in terms of just boosting raw stats. Of course, Silvermane Bakes is way higher, but keep in mind he does have a downside where you take increased damage. She decreases damage and she heals and removes shield and gives you attack. So you're getting a bunch of uses out of it rather than, just Silvermane Bake where he's just giving you a 20% attack increase and then you take increased damage. So she's overall W support skill. I really like it. I think it's really nice. How many times will I use it? I'm not sure because I run a Sun Jin Woo Berserker type build. So it's this is actually going against what I need. Healing and decreasing damage taken is nice. Alright, so now we got the QTE skill. I actually do not like the QTE skill whatsoever. It has no value whatsoever aside just popping in and doing damage, right? It has no value. I believe with at least Min, he gives himself the disguise buff, which allows him to do even more increased damage. But for her cat rush, it doesn't do anything, right? Or I could be mistaken. Let me see real quick, just to be safe. Oh yeah, it's way better. Look at this. It fills all team members' power gauge by 50%. This is nice, bro. She is definitely not cooking with that QTE. I'll tell you that much. It's very bland, just like the rest of her kit so far. Now we got the Big Meow, her ultimate skill, right? I'm not even gonna read all that, but basically it gives pumped up to all team members. This is gonna be very nice for your team. Very nice. Basically, it gives you attack 8%, defense 8%, crit hit rate 8%, core attack damage 8%, decreased damage taken 8%. The value out of this is tremendous. You're basically getting, depending on your character, so for example, if I'm using Huang, you're getting that defense, that crit rate, that core attack, and that damage taken. That's all those buffs. That's nice. If you're using a character like Seo, you're getting that value out of the crit rate and the damage taken. Not too much of the other ones, but it's there. It's a little bit nice bonus. If you're using Alicia though, if you're using Alicia, she's gaining the biggest amount of bonus from this. From attack, the defense to give her some survivability, crit hit rate, core attack damage, and damage taken by decreased damage taken by 8%. This is ultimate value for Alicia. Again, this character was clearly designed and catered to Alicia. And Alicia was obviously designed to tackle the hardest of stages and quests that are literally weak to water. So it's like, it is what it is, right? It's all right, right? It's good. It's super good, right? In the case that gives you a bunch of stuff, but they're very low. It's like 8%. It's like very low, but it's still nice overall, especially for a character like the crit rate. 8% alone is already nice, right? So I can't really complain. It's very, how I feel about it is roughly like, if I had to say like being 1 to 10 being on how much I like the actual ultimate skill, I'd say roughly about a 7. At 7 is kind of a good range for it. For me personally, it's like, it's good, really good, but it does have some misses for certain characters. All right, so now we're going to talk about their passives. Now, her passives, of course, this is going to be the biggest important part of her entire kit, completely, more than up, more than the everything else. This is going to be the actual design of the actual character, because naturally, as every other character, their passive is what determines how the character plays. Obviously, duh. I should have started with this first, but I kind of wanted to get the other stuff out the way so we kind of know what they do before we actually get into the passive, which is kind of extra values on top of what she already does. So when Rear Lash or Cat Rush hit, it inflicts the Cuddle Puddle effect to the target. So Rear Lash is going to be your basic skill, and then what was Cat Rush? What was that? That's her ult, right? No. Oh, Cat Rush is their QT. So as soon as you come in, you use your QTE and then their first skill, right? You'll be able to get, you'll be able to inflict Cuddle Puddle between just that, which is good. Because now her QTE is not completely bland, right? Her QTE actually has some meaning and value to it. Although I feel like it should have just already been in there. This is just kind of ridiculous that it's as a passive, but whatever. Not going to complain. When the user uses Side Whip or Up, they tag or tags out grants the Bye Meow effect to all team members. Okay, so Cuddle Puddle, what it does is it increases water damage by 8%. It's okay. Nothing too crazy. The most value you'll see out of it is when you're running a water mono team. Like, it's okay, in my opinion. I feel like Min is just much better just because Min's values are much higher, and it's a universal damage bonus, right? It's not just water, it's a universal. So you can kind of use it on any kind of team, which obviously that puts him a step above her. Now you have Bye Meow. Bye Meow is going to be actually what kind of makes her way different than Min. So what Bye Meow does is increases attack by 8% and defense by 8%, and it stacks up to 3 times. And if you use your Side Whip or Up, so Side Whip is her core attack, it's going to be fairly easy to get this considering how fast she attacks. You won't have to worry too much about getting it. You'll be able to pop it. You'll pop your core attack, like as you use your skills and everything. You'll be able to pop your core attack. And then you'll be able to use your Up, which is, of course, going to be your second skill. And then from there, you're going to tag her out as well, which is going to give you your 3 stacks. So basically, whatever next character that comes in that's going to do damage is going to have an attack increase by 24% and a defense increase by 24%. This is literally both of them, right? It's not just that, right? This is going to be very, very strong in obtaining as much raw stat damage, like your raw stats, basically, to do more damage. Like for Alicia, this is absolutely perfect. Like I said, survivability, more attack. We already know that she, on her ult, she increases all those stats too. Like she increases attack, defense, crit rate, core attack, and decreased damage taken by 8%. So that's going to be good on top of this. So you're basically kind of getting like a 32% attack and defense from this, and then you're also getting the water damage. So for Alicia, this character is going to be super turbo broken. Well, not broken, but like powerful for Alicia. Like you literally want to have this character if you're an Alicia main. Like if you love using Alicia, you want this character. This character is legit going to make your Alicia so much stronger, you have no idea. Absolutely insane. Now, let's say you don't have Alicia and you're getting her for the purpose of, let's say, Workshop of Light, or for the purpose of Power of Destruction, or for the purpose of Cerebus Tier 10. Now, if you have Sayo, it's okay, right? It's okay. She's decent. But she's not going to be the best for Sayo, right? You really want to have Alicia with her. You really want to have Alicia. Like, Sayo is not going to benefit too much from this character considering it doesn't buff HP or anything. Obviously, Sayo is based off of HP, so it's kind of like you're not getting the full total value. You might get the core attack damage bonus, the crit rate, and the decreased damage taken, but that's really about it. You're not getting too much value out of the other things. It's the increased water damage is obviously nice for Sayo as well. So it's kind of like for Cerberus, I don't think she's that much value to pull for if you don't already have Alicia. Because how I see it is if you already have Alicia, you should already be able to do tier 10. That's how powerful Alicia is. There's no reason to pull this character to actually help you do tier 10. And then, of course, she doesn't give too much value to Sayo anyways. So you might as well just not pull for her if you're going to use her to buff your team. Like, if you have Sayo already to do Cerberus 10, you're not going to want Meilin Fisher. Just work more on your Sayo and you'll eventually be able to beat it. If you have Alicia, get her. Like, just get her. She's going to be strong for Alicia no matter what. Like, she caters to her so hard, it's insane. But if you don't have either of them, if you don't have Sayo and you don't have Alicia, she's not going to make your Cerberus tier 10 run any easier, even if you're using SRs to try to make up for it. She's just really not. Like, she's just not that powerful, right, for that. So, let's summarize it real quick. I'll just condense everything like I just said. I'm not going to really go over her dupes. If you go for dupes, of course, she's going to see more value. Like, naturally, her dupes, like, providing Butler and, you know, reducing the damage you take. This isn't going to be too important, but the super armor is really nice, because then that makes your Alicia kind of immune to stuff. But, like, if you're already using Alicia, you might have Sayo, and you might have shields. So you're already kind of, like, not getting staggered anyways. So it's kind of like whatever, right? But then the So Cute is so strong. Again, for Alicia. For Alicia, guys. It's literally for Alicia. Like, what is this? What is this? It's like ridiculous. But yeah, I'm not gonna go over too much of like all these dupes and stuff. Like, they just make all her stat modifiers just stronger. It's very simple. But yeah, if you're trying to do tier 10 Cerberus and you don't have Alicia or Sayo, don't pull for her. Just wait until she goes into the standard banner. Trust me, you're gonna save your resources, your crystals, and your limited tickets. If you have Alicia and you still can't be Cerberus 10, I don't know what to tell you. You probably should work more on your Alicia. If you need her for Workshop of Light and you want to use her for her support skill is okay, right? Increases attack 16%, decreases damage taken. It also heals. Very nice. So if you need her, if you need to do Workshop of Light and you want some good support skills, she's going to be very nice there. You're not going to have any issues with her whatsoever. Cooldown 25 seconds. It's the duration 16 seconds. The downtime's realistically only 9 seconds. So it's super good. It heals. It does all that good stuff. Remove shield. You're not going to have an issue with it. She's going to be really nice for Workshop of Light. Power of Destruction. If you're doing Power of Destruction, you're most likely going to use her because even though you're doing that and using Sun Jin-woo and controlling him, remember, it's a full team, so she's realistically still buffing you and the rest of her team. So she's going to be really strong there naturally. If the dragon is weak to water, you're gonna get value out of her. She's probably gonna have a little bit more value than actual Min there, but you might still run Min just for the increased damage taken. Who knows, right? You gotta do a little bit of testing and see that. And then, of course, you have your Battlefield Chaos. She's definitely gonna be strong there without a doubt. It's like that thing is insanely difficult. Like the enemies have so much like health pool. It's crazy. You take so much damage easily. You need more damage because you'll end up running out of time. Defense is nice to keep you survivability. She's going to be really strong for Battlefield Chaos. So yeah, again, I'll recondense it and summarize it one more time if you didn't understand. If you need her for Cerberus 10, if you don't have Alicia or Sayo, realistically, you're not going to get too much value. If you have Alicia, she's always going to be good value. You can pull for her. If you only have Sayo, do not pull for this character. Please do not do it. Like, most of the things that she's buffing is mainly towards core attack and, like, literally attack, defense, all that stuff, but, like, nothing towards HP. Your Sayo's not going to benefit too much from it. She'll gain something, a little bit out of it, but she won't gain, like, the full effects of her entire kit. So probably don't pull for her. And then, of course, if you do Power of Destruction, good there. So in my overall consensus of how I feel about the character and what you should naturally do, it ultimately comes down to if you have Alicia or not. if you have Alicia, you should probably pull for this character because she's gonna like make your Alicia giga crack. If you don't have Alicia, there's no reason for you to pull this character right now. There's not too many water characters in the game that she's gonna be buffing like a crazy amount. Yeah, she's a healer, but trust me, Min is a much better healer. Like the value out of you get out of Min is just stupendous. It's like you're getting crit hit rate, crit hit damage. You're getting, obviously decreased damage taken is for him, right? Which doesn't give you too much value, but it's like just the first skill alone is like the first skill is like, you're recovering HP for your team, and the recovery rate increases by 100%, so you're increasing how much you're healing as well from it. It's like you're increasing the damage taken on the enemy by 5%, but it's 15% when you have disguise, right? So it's like, it's so good. It's a 15% increased damage taken. It's like you can't really beat this. Like, it's universal. Min is still way much better than Meilin. You don't need a healer, just dodge. I know it's hard for some people, and some people might disagree. They'd be like, oh, but it's like, it's helpful, but like, trust me, just dodge. Like, you'll eventually learn the boss's patterns. You'll be able to dodge the attacks. You do not need a healer. It's helpful, but you do not need a healer. The healing effects are okay, unless you have a boss that has a mechanic that you're constantly losing HP or something. It's not too much value, right? The most value you're looking out of it is how much damage you're going to be able to do to the enemy because of the support skills. And Min, in my opinion, still kind of a little bit above her, but she's not too far behind, right? She's still a good character, but I would realistically kind of wait until she's in the standard pool to pull for her, because she's not an insanely giga cracked character that you need to pull for right now at this moment. Unless you have Alicia. If you have Alicia, go for it. Knock yourselves out, guys. She's gonna make Alicia look giga broken. Like, literally, at that point, Alicia is literally gonna become the best DPS in the game. Period. Just with this Meilin Fisher edition. So yeah, I know I repeated myself a few times, but that's how I honestly feel about the character. You really shouldn't pull for this character unless you have Alicia. She's good, but like, you don't have to rush for this character. Just wait until she goes into the standard pool. She's nothing crazy that you need to rush for right now. So yeah, let me know if you guys disagree. Of course, this is just to help give you some guidance and some clarity on the character. But that's how I generally feel about the character. And if you disagree, well, I mean, you disagree, and just go for it. Pull yourself. I'm not gonna stop. Pull. Like, I'm not gonna like knock yourself out. I'm not gonna stop you from pulling or whatever. If that's what you really want to do, go for it. Nobody can tell you how to play the game. They can give you guidance, but ultimately, it's basically how you want to enjoy the game at the end of the day. I'm just here to give you my personal opinion and guidance as a person who's played the game extensively with over definitely over 500 hours, because that's all I do is like constantly look at characters, test characters, read all the characters, decide what kind of scenario, stuff like that. All I do is literally live, breathe the game. It's come on now. Anyways, yeah, I just thought I'd give you my opinion because I kind of know what I'm talking about. But of course, if you guys have some other thoughts or opinions and things that might actually benefit the character, that might actually raise the value, then I might change my mind. But until then, I don't see any other way at the moment that would warrant you to pull for her, unless you have Alicia or you like the character, right? So yeah, I keep dragging it out. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace. I already repeated myself like 600 times, for fuck's sake.